So I'm pretty sure a lot of people have heard of this French streamer that was abused, manipulated, and beaten up just for views.
On t'écoute?
Ouais, ça va. J'ai jamais touché vraiment. Vraiment. T'inquiète pas. Genre là.
Allez,
arrête, tu vas mourir. Arrête, ça fait. Arrête.
Oui, oui.
Arrête.
Ah, il me prend, putain.
Arrête, tu vas mourir. Arrête, tu vas mourir.
And let's just say personality-wise, he did look like he was a little bit of a on the softer side. He seemed like someone who could be very easily manipulated and used. And these dumbass asshole streamers that were around him used him. So I did a little research about this guy, and apparently he was also in the army. And from what I'm guessing is he probably had some physical and mental health problems. So I'm gonna dig deep and explain everything that I've found so far about this case and what has been happening in the background. And thanks to Abba and Preach, they actually translated some stuff that the streamers talked with this guy live about him potentially dying and what the hell are they gonna do without him, because, you know, views and money.
Je veux pas, je le souhaite pas du tout. C'est pas un truc que t'as vu, j'ai pas envie du tout. Mais imagine un jour dans le délire, on est en train de rigoler et tout et
Il clappe.
If I'm narrating this, essentially saying like, listen, you know, we're all laughing and we're enjoying stuff. What happens if, like, while we're all enjoying stuff, he dies? That's what they're talking right in front of him.
Yes.
And so you really have to understand the psychology of someone listening to other people discuss.
Talking about you on the third person,
You
like
dying.
you're not there.
Tu sais que je me suis déjà posé la question.
en plein live.
And the other guy says, I've already asked myself the question. Je me suis déjà posé la question.
Ouais.
On est mort.
Ouais, alors que. Ah non, à moins qu'ils disent face caméra là maintenant.
And then he says, if that happens, well, then we're done. We're toast. And he says, no, not unless he looks at the camera right now. And let's do this next part.
Que si demain il meurt en plein live, c'est dû à son état de santé de merde et pas nous.
Non.
Unless he looks at the camera right now and says, if I die tomorrow, it's because my health is shit and it's not because of these guys. So right now they're already asking him, as if it's almost premeditated, to make an excuse for why they're not guilty of his death.
Before I start, I'm sorry, I'm gonna butcher everybody's name here. I don't know French and I can't pronounce French names properly. So this guy's name was Raphaël Graven. He was a former French soldier who transitioned into streaming, starting with gaming content before shifting into in real life streams. He wasn't a small creator. He was one of Kick's top French streamers with over 190k subscribers on the platform and hundreds of thousands more on TikTok and on other sites. Let's just not act that France or just the French side of Kick didn't know about all of this. They 100% knew all of this was happening. So he started from gaming, but the content devolved into extreme challenges where viewers donated for increasingly more dangerous and more degrading acts. And Kick not only allowed these kinds of streaming, they tweeted about them via their French agency and featuring Kick merch in the background. So competition with Twitch drove Kick to prioritize views over safety, which is pretty sad because if my channel actually succeeds one day, I also want to start streaming. And one of my plans is to start streaming on multiple platforms, both YouTube, Twitch, and Kick. How would someone want to stream on Kick after seeing all of this? So from my research, this is the timeline that I found of everything that devolved into this whole mess. So in late 2023 or early 2024, Graven teams up with younger streamers like Owen Senzandotti and Safine Hamadi. They just started doing extreme challenges and quickly turned into abuse, beatings, strangulations, and humiliations. So in December 2024, the French outlet Mediapart publishes an explosive expose alleging Kick tolerated violent abuse streams. This prompted Nice's prosecutor's office, so Nice is a city in, I think it was southern France. So this prompted the Nice prosecutor's office to open an inquiry into deliberate violent acts as streamed online. Then, this year, January 2025, Graven, Naruto, and Safine are taken into custody for questioning. They deny wrongdoing, claiming that everything was staged for buzz and consensual showmanship. They were released without charges and streams continued. And I wish all of that was, you know, on camera, on video. I don't know if that's legal in France. I don't know if that's legal anywhere, but I would like to see that clip of them being questioned. And I'm gonna be pretty sure that Graven is gonna be very insecure of his answers and very scared of what he's answering. So in mid-2025, the abuse escalates. Clips show, and there's a lot of clips showing how Graven is being tortured. And I'm gonna explain a lot of those torturous stuff that they did to him later. But in August, they started a 10-day marathon, co-hosted again by Naruto, Safine, and some other guys. On August 18th, Graven becomes unresponsive on camera, and there's also clips of the other guys trying to like nudge him and see if, you know, he wakes up. They were also shaking him and throwing water bottles at him, slapping him. So this is a lot of the stuff that I found that they've done to him. So viewer discretion is advised for everybody that, you know, can get triggered or traumatized from this stuff. They grabbed him by the neck and suffocated him in strangulation contests for records. For example, the one record I found was them mentioning they strangled him for like 1 minute and 8 seconds, and they were like, okay, let's try and beat this record again. Being shot with paintballs. I think there was something with electricity, like I think it was using electric dog collars. He was also forced to cross-dress and wearing humiliating shit in public. For example, he was wearing wigs and signs like pipe gratis, which in French I think it means free blowjobs, brushing teeth with urine-soaked brushes, desecrating personal items like breaking his glasses, and other games like sleep deprivation with brutal wake-ups with cold water dumps. So that's what they were doing to him when in the 10-day marathon, whatever you want to call it, the 10-day traumathon, I'll just call it that because that's what it was. And I also found articles saying that, I didn't find clips of this, but I also found articles saying that he was forced to beat others to justify retaliation. He was used because of his nicotine addiction. So if he didn't do X stuff that they made him do, they wouldn't just give him cigarettes. And if he would do something, then they would give him cigarettes. So 4 days before his death, he texts his mom, "I'm stuck here. This is going way too far and I feel like I'm being held hostage." And there's a clip of the group making fun of these messages. In my opinion, the people that are even worse in this case are the viewers. Like the people that showed up, didn't report this stuff. I'm pretty sure that a lot of people reported, but these just authorities didn't do shit because I don't know why. And also this guy is 46, let's remember, and a lot of these people that he's hanging out with are basically half his age, like mid-20s, like my age. And this guy, from what you can see in his face, his skin, this guy looks beaten. And I'm not saying this to like be funny. No, he looks beaten from life. They were also making fun of him for failing with women. So 46, was in the army. I'm guessing that this guy has some pretty problematic mental disorder or just has some mental problems. But he was just used by these people just for the views and attention, and he just felt powerless because that's where his mind was. So the autopsy was on August 21st, just 2 days ago. No traumatic injury or third-party intervention was found to be, you know, cause for death. And they said it's likely a medical cardiac issue or just something toxicological, and the test for this stuff is ongoing. And if you ask me, I would guess that it's something to do with toxicological stuff. Like they were giving him some fake candies with some crazy toxins inside them. I don't know what toxins there was inside. Again, the tests are still ongoing. We don't know if those candies were real or fake. I personally don't freaking know. I think they were. I saw a lot of people saying that they were. He also had thyroid treatment and heart problems, but obviously the stress from abuse, sleep deprivation, and substance likely exacerbated this. So experts say torture worsens underlying conditions. So we don't need to be experts to tell people that, hey, if you have any biological health issues, physical, mental, whatever, and your everyday life is going horribly, you know, the sleep, the food, everything, then yeah, it can worsen everything. It also says that French authorities seized the equipment, videos, and interview witnesses. Investigation now probes abuse of weakness or undue influence. And also this minister named Clara Chapaz, sorry for butchering the name, calls it an absolute horror and digital Wild West, vowing sanctions if Kik failed moderation duties under EU law. And boy oh boy did Kik fail moderation duties. So what did Kik do after all of this? They responded with, "We're deeply saddened of all of this happening," and they just banned Naruto and Sapphire. But also critics know that Kick promoted all of this for views. And of course Naruto claims that all of this was staged, and he files a cyberbullying complaint against all this backlash, calling it immoral offense, and Sapphire did something similar. And after all of this, Ian Ross and Drake offered to pay for the funeral costs. I haven't been informed if they actually did pay or not. If they did, kudos to them. So this shows in what kind of a future we're going in. This cyberpunk crazy dystopia, I should call it, of people just caring more about money than people's lives, which, you know, it's nothing new in the human world. But in the streaming world, or just let's just say it in the social media world, being like actually doing it live, destroying someone's health and life live on camera, and no platform doing shit about it. Yeah, I've never seen this happen, and it's freaking scary because a lot of people are gonna see this. They're gonna see a lot of this stuff working, and I've mentioned this so many times. If there's something dark, crazy, retarded happening online and people are making money out of it, and the platform or the government is not doing anything about it, not silencing it, not, you know, correcting the behavior, not putting the people in freaking jail, well then more people are gonna come to X streamer, influencer, whatever. They're gonna demand more extreme stuff. But at the same time, there's gonna be more people making content similar to this because they're gonna see, hey, they're doing crazy shit, nobody's sanctioning them, why not we do more of this shit while it's still new and there isn't a lot of people doing this shit, so we can, you know, make some cash. So yeah, that's about it. Pretty sad and fucked up story. I know how it is to be bullied. I was very bullied and beaten when I was in elementary school and when I lived in the previous town that I lived in for the first 19 years. I remember being 14 and being fucking scared to go to school because I would get beaten up by kids from my neighborhood and from kids from my school. And I also remember being scared of telling my parents, the teachers, the principal, because whatever they were gonna do to sanction those kids were gonna get mad at me, find me on the street, and beat the living hell out of me for telling on them. So yeah, the world is effed up. That's about it. Tell me what you guys think in the comments. Rest in peace to this guy. And have a nice day and keep safe.